So now let's take our look at our project. Up at the top we have our menu options, just like within any other application. Above that tells us the name of our project and what version we're using in Unity. Down below in our hierarchy, when you have a project, a 3D project, you will get a default main camera and a directional light in the hierarchy. In the scene view is everything that's within the scene. Right now it's just some gizmos showing, and if I click the gizmos on and off, you'll see the light and the camera gizmo. You can also select the drop down and choose different variables. Over here we have what I call our transformation tools. These will help our objects. They will do all kinds of cool things with our objects. And every time you select an object, over in the hierarchy is all the information. Right now we're on the move tool, so when you move an object, you just use the arrows and move the object in that manner. I'm going to Control Z back to the original position and select the rotation tool. The rotation tool is the same thing with the move tool. You select the various axes, the red, green, and blue, and move your tool. You can see the rotation happening by the light changing in the game. So I'll Control Z back to the beginning and select the scale tool. This scale tool you can scale universally by selecting the white center square, or scale via the other axes by selecting that scale. So this is the Game tab, and the Game tab is what shows when you are in the run mode. For myself, I usually select the maximize on play, so I get the maximum screen when I play. This next tab is the Asset Store, and we're going to actually import something from the Asset Store right here, right now, as soon as it loads. When it does load, it usually loads a default, some type of a asset that they're previewing, or something that's very new, and all you do to view it is double click on the particular asset, and it opens up and tells you the cost and what's involved in that asset. I never ever want you to pay for something. We're going to use free things, okay? So I would like for you to search for standard. And once you type in standard and hit enter, you're going to get this list. So you need to come down to the price area and move over the tool till it's at a 0 option. The very first asset that's grayed out for me because I have already installed it on this particular computer. So you double click it. Where you see import here, it will probably say download for you. So you'll need to download it and then import. Once the import happens, we're going to uncheck a few of these assets. We're not going to use any of these sample scenes, so uncheck it, collapse the window. In the standard assets, uncheck the 2D. We're working in 3D, so let's just uncheck everything there. And we're going to go through this process and uncheck a few options, so at the very end you might want to do, a pause and see what we've checked and unchecked. Definitely going to use the characters and the cross-platform input. We keep that because it helps contain everything. So you'll keep going through, and what we're doing is we're taking out what we do not need to help keep our file size small. We don't need a lot of this information. Once we've unchecked everything, we hit import package, and it imports right into our projects panel over here, and it imports with a few warnings. The warnings tell us exactly what script it's on, what line it's on, where it's at. That's okay, they're just warnings. We're just going to clear that. Anytime you can clear it, we're good to go. So now I want to take a look over here in the up above the tabs are the play options, just like a recorder. The inspector, I keep going there. This is a very, very important window. Layouts. Layouts is how the application actually looks to you. You can change them simply by hitting the drop down, selecting your option. Anytime I do tutorials, I'm always in the default layout. You can also click and drag your windows around and make your own custom layout. So that, my friends, is layouts. Next, we're going to take a look at the project panel down here, your project window. So your assets are within your project. Everything in the project is in your assets. It's not always in your scene, but it's always in your assets. So within our assets, we have folders. So I just said right click, create new folder, and I'm naming this prefabs because that's going to be our next assignment. So I now have 3 folders. I can change the size of the view of those folders by scrolling the little option in the bottom right hand corner. So we have our scenes folder and our prefabs folder, and in our scenes folder will be our scenes. Think of scenes as levels. So anytime we create a scene, we're going to keep it in that folder. In the standard assets folder are all those beautiful assets that we imported, and we're going to actually use some of those. And I see that some more warnings came up, so I'm just going to read them quickly and then clear them. And they cleared. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. So I'm still good to go. So now I'm going to talk again about your inspector window. Anytime you select a game object, that inspector window provides all of the components available to that object. So we're going to save our scene and save our project and close out Unity and come back for the next edition.